Claxby Hill. We had a very long, made Norwegian-style sledging. We hurtled down, we hit what else we did.
Go and find her. Where are you going, Master? For a drink?
Okay, you guys want anything else?
3 butterbeers and some ginger and wine, please. 6 shots of giggle water.
Earl Grey, huh?
This snake juice is basically rat poison. Spent my whole life right here in Lackawanna County.
Drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
All right, guys, welcome back. This round is on me, and this is a bit of a different episode this evening. But if you have been following us for Magic Month for year 1 and year 2, you know what's coming tonight. Tonight we are doing commentary for The Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the final episode of Magic Month. I'm currently set up in my living room so that me and the missus can watch the movie together. But if you have found yourself on Booth Down, welcome. A doctor, a lawyer, a pilot, and a professor have all walked into a bar. That's right. Alex is back.
This bar looks so different than when I left.
Back.
I mean, you
He's back.
Did anyone even sweep once? Like, the floor is sticky.
No.
And the bar top is like tactile. It's just, I set my...
just the sheer volume of Cheez-It powder is
we
just
gotta talk about some of your
and
snack
disturbing.
Well, that's not... We've got a 2 hour, 20-minute movie here. We don't have time to get into that. You don't get a twofer. You don't get a twofer. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
I'm back, and the rules are getting laid down, bucko.
Well, no, I mean, Alex, I think we have you recorded in the first Magic Month saying that you were ecstatic for us to get to Prisoner of Azkaban. So glad you were able to come back and join us for the commentary. But how this works, if you haven't joined us before, we are going to count down 3, 2, 1, start. We are all going to hit play at the same time, which is going to be comical because the internet delay on this call. Who knows where anyone's going to be on the video? But
Dallas and I are even using the same streaming service at the same time right now. I mean,
We'll see if this
FBI, no, we are
works.
using 2 separate logins. Uh-oh.
To get around it, we're going to watch 2 different Harry Potters, so that way I think that's how they...
that would be hilarious. If one of you was watching a completely different movie.
Why does Harry have such long hair in this one, and why is Dumbledore yelling? I remember him saying he was very calm, like, "No, you're a full year ahead, Dallas. Come back, come back."
No.
His hair looks terrible here.
I gotta say, I'm excited for next year
Hey,
because Goblet of Fire is my
spoilers.
favorite
No
book.
spoilers. No one knows what's coming next.
No one knows what's coming. No one can count from
what
3,
order
2,
they're
4.
We're doing.
All right. Well, how this is going to work? We're going to count down from 3, 3, 2, 1, start. We're all going to hit play. Pop us in one ear, watch the movie with the other, and you can go back to Hogwarts with us as we watch The Prisoner of Azkaban. So, guys, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We are going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Play.
I don't know if I rewound this tape good enough.
He was not kind. He did not rewind. He's doing magic outside of school.
I'm glad I wasn't the first one to bring it up.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
are they
magic
that
outside
big
of school?
sticklers that they're like, "Oh, you made a light bulb."
A hover charm was performed in the house that Harry didn't even do, and he got an official warning saying that if there was any more magic, he would be expelled.
I had always just assumed there was an off-canon, like, he's doing his homework at home, and, muggles will think it's a flashlight. Like, that it's like the one spell they were allowed to do.
No. Alfonso Cuarón said in an interview that he thought the imagery of a teenage boy playing with his wand under the blanket at night was funny to him, so he wrote that scene into the movie.
I'm Team Alfonso Cuarón, so
I don't know.
Well, and I think that first chapter where he's like doing his essays, doing his homework, doesn't translate that well cinematically.
Now, I will say something very weird here, and anyone who knows R4 here will know this about me. I am the least Apple-y of the group, and I've got the AirPod Maxes from my work, and the audio was so good right there. I thought, oh no, is that playing through my speakers out there? Because it sounded so distant. I was like, what's happening?
Is it the spatial audio?
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's Dolby.
Oh, she was incredible as Aunt Marge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Richard Griffiths, rest in peace. You know, Vernon Dursley's a terrible person, but I heard he was a lovely man.
Oh, the actor? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you would have said, okay, pick another fantasy franchise and translate a character laterally from a Marge type stereotype into Aunt Marge, Mrs. Trunchbull from Matilda.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. See, Dallas, the television's in the kitchen.
I didn't know if it was the same in the book. We read this, and immediately the day after we read it, watched this as a
two TVs. If you look through into the sitting in the little sunroom behind them, there's another TV playing the same thing.
Yeah, we had a hard time like watching this the day after we finished reading the book.
This is the one though where you started to see glimmers of, especially the kid actors, starting to have fun with the role. Like that little look there where she's like, "Do they use the cane at St. Burgess's boy?" He goes, yeah. They use it all the time.
Well, they're more confident in the role at this point. I mean, what an acting school to go to. Like, the best British actors of all time you can learn under.
Can you imagine just staring at a glass and having enough magical power that it just explodes?
If we didn't get to see the part where he goes to Hogwarts, this would just be like a Poltergeist movie.
Right?
They're here.
Especially her. This also seems like one of those scenes where music changes everything. Where, you know, they had this little like whimsy John Williams ditty playing over top of this, but if they changed the music in this scene, it would be horrifying.
Yup.
I think, you know, having John Williams at this film in particular helped with the transition to the more darker themes.
True. It's
in this one.
It's like the same companion with a new doctor.
Yeah.
Well, for me, and this is something I've said for a long time, this is the right balance of the dark side of Harry Potter and the whimsy in both, and it's so well balanced for me.
This book was definitely the turning point. Like this is when like this story starts to get dark, starts to get real. It's less of the let's go on an adventure and we're teenagers dealing with depression.
And a giant wizard Nazi, you know, a little more than just depression.
True. I mean, I would be depressed if I dealt with a wizard Nazi.
Like, what is he supposed to do? Just keep holding on? Like, clearly she's buoyant. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not like she's going to come crashing down. But, like, if he holds on much longer, like, sorry, like, yeah, no doubt. Anyway, Big Chungus back here, just still getting stuck on the TV. Yeah, that'll fix it. Kick your dresser. That solves all your problems.
The actor for Harry's dad is going to be at Wizard Fest this year.
That's fantastic.
It's actually a lot harder because they have to use moving Sharpies to sign the moving images of him.
Was this also the first time that they introduced like the whole shaky cam approach?
Yeah, this was early born.
It's post-born. But it's also still very Alfonso Cuarón. Like this is a dolly shot, or on either on a rail or on a cart. So I mean, but it feels more organic. And there's going to be a few shots that I point out coming up that I'm like, that is just beautiful cinematography. That's what I love about this movie. The sense of scale, the sense of gravitas. Like yes, it's not whimsy, but you go, oh, this is how wizards would exist in our world. Like, I like that.
Well, I remember having a hard time with this movie 20 years ago when it first came out. Because maybe I was becoming a continuity nerd. And
good save there.
Yeah, it's not like we've already said that word once talking about Voldemort. Oh, I mean, he who should not be named. Didn't say that.
Actually, I was going for snob and it turned into nerd.
A snotzy?
But
snotzy.
Snotzy. But I was becoming a continuity nerd, and I had a hard time with sort of like Hogwarts and all of that being so different. Literally it's a different geographical space at this point.
While the night bus just phases into existence. Got to point that out. That's just beautiful. Sorry. Didn't want to let it go.
No, this whole sequence from Williams'
beautiful
music to the design of the bus to the effects still holds up.
It makes me laugh every time too. Like, I know the lines, like, what she fell over for? Like, I know the lines are coming. I've seen this movie probably more than the others, and yet it gets me every time.
And then we find out that he's actually a Death Eater this whole time.
Please keep going about the continuity, but there were a few things I wanted. Yeah. The continuity of Hogwarts and the changes.
Yes, I know Hogwarts in the Columbus films was basically big budget BBC. And for a lot of it felt like a soundstage. And yes, the castle felt more real in this one. But for my 12-year-old mind, I had a hard time being like, why is Hogwarts in a geographically different location at this point?
How dare they?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I went, oh, so that's what the rest of the grounds look like.
This is the best.
Also, a shrunken Jamaican head. Like, don't know.
J.K. Rowling.
I don't know.
J.K. Rowling said that she wished she included that character in the book.
Yeah.
But it fits the world perfectly. You're like, yep, that works.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And they use the shrunken heads and Universal to pay homage to the Jaws ride, which was where Diagon Alley used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go to the window display of shrunken heads and you cast a spell to make them sing, if you cycle through enough songs, eventually they'll sing the sea shanty that they sing on the boat in Jaws.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's the homage to the fact that that's where the Jaws ride was. Jenny will count down like this sometimes. 3.5 to 1 3/4. Go!
But 3 to 3.5, which is larger than 3. He's counting to 4, 3, 3.5. Like, it should go the other way. Whatever.
I love the camera moves when they're on the bus because it's almost like the camera is on a bed that is also sliding back and forth with inertia.
Yeah. Like, it feels organic. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting, like, the later Bourne movies, I felt like I had shaken baby syndrome. This feels like, oh, I'm along for the ride, you know? It doesn't feel nauseating.
The only Zack Snyder film that I like is Man of Steel, but the one complaint I have is that I also feel like I have shaken baby syndrome on that one because he overused the shaky cam in that film.
This
right here, as they... Incredible. These are the kind of visuals and additions that I'd like somebody who's not just going to adapt a book, but they're going to do something wild like that.
Mm-hmm.
Make it their own.
The Leaky Cauldron, that's in London.
And I will say at this point, it's fairly faithful to the book.
Poor Tom, though, got the worst downgrade.
That's how he was described in the book, as like a toothless walnut.
Also, this little moment where he leans out and is like, let's knock this off.
Watch the wine glass or the wine bottle.
Yes. This is what I thought your sound effect was. The little stirring of the spoon right there as he's doing that. And this also has one of the best. So that was practical magic, like sleight of hand.
Right, yeah.
By the way.
Also, can we acknowledge the fact that he is reading A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
Like...
Was he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I want to, like... I want, like, science nerd wizards and talk with them, like... You know,
really big into Muggle studies.
Yes. And not just the Arthur Weasley I collect plugs.
Yeah.
Cornelius Fudge. See, when you get to the first chapter in book 6, I kind of felt low-key bad for Fudge.
The other minister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's the first chapter in book 7.
Spoilers, we'll get there in looks at watch.
No,
3.5 years.
it's book 6.
The first chapter in book 6 is Spinner's End.
And it was the other... I thought it was the other minister and Spinner's End.
Write that down, because that's going to be a trivia question in 3 years.
Shall we consult the texts and find out for sure?
No, I'm watching Tom yank Harry around by his shirt. Thank you very much. I don't want to consult the magic text. Also, I may be a few seconds ahead of you all or behind. I don't know yet. Also, that clock was definitely not going 1 second intervals. It was like super slow on the pendulum.
Also, this whole sequence was one of my absolute favorite in the book. When Harry, yes, he was confined to Diagon Alley, but he had full reign of Diagon Alley. It's like he got to unrestrainedly enjoy being a wizard and living in that world. And they talk about him having Sundays outside of Florian Fortescue's, and Florian himself would give him extra ice cream and help him with his homework and going to look at the firebolt and window shopping and
or having a staring contest with a rabid book under your bed, you know. Is that where you all are, by the way? Are we at the same point? Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried because there was a second there where I was like, I may be a second or two behind you. I think I have that same blanket, the waffle knit.
Yeah, we got one too.
Target special.
Ooh.
Mm. In this moment with the maid is one of my favorites.
Cute.
Just the nonchalant. Okay,
Right,
just another day in the life. Okay.
So I'm very ill right now and have consumed a potion of NyQuil. So at some point during this,
has it hit?
Not yet, but the world will change, and I need to know if you guys know when it happens.
We'll start placing bets.
Yeah, Kristen brought up there's a theory that Crookshanks belong to the Potters.
Interesting. This has some more of my favorite cinematography because you will notice that in the background you see Sirius Black kind of watching. His presence is felt in the background, right?
Yeah.
He's right there on the pillar. And watch this. This is a one single take, which Alfonso Cuarón is known for. And so it starts wide, which in cinematography language indicates that it's less intimate. And watch as they step further and further into frame. It gets closer and closer. So now it's moved to a mid shot as opposed to a wide. And now Sirius Black is physically between them, literally. Now as they step forward, you're getting into a close-up, tighter framing, more intimate. Sirius is even more present. Also, I guess it's maybe a hammered dulcimer, or he's like, John Williams is like plucking the piano strings. That little tingling sound. Oh, so good. It puts you on edge, in the best of ways. I love it. I know Cody and I have been talking about film scores for forever, but yes, Williams deserves his due.
The moment he dies, there will be at least a month of mourning for me. Like,
it's scheduled.
They scheduled his death? Is he in Sweden or something?
Scheduled his morning.
They got one of his nitrogen tanks ready to go. Also, I'm sorry. What children in their right mind? I don't care if he looks asleep or not. I'm not having a conversation around an adult where it's like, hey guys, do you want to hear about my personal life and my, person who's trying to kill me and hunt me? I don't care if that guy looks like he's asleep or not. Don't you remember falling asleep in the car and pretending to still be asleep as your parents dragged you in? He could be doing the same thing. Also, the ever-present Peter Pettigrew in Scabbers form right there. He knows exactly what they're thinking.
Oh, yeah.
And the inclusion of the Marauders map makes Fred and George why is my brother sleeping with a man named Peter?
Spoilers, but we'll get there.
If I was on a train with a man and he was asleep for this long and I was that loud.
So I think the Marauders map only shows Marauders to other Marauders because they wrote it. And they sneak around the school.
Oh.
William, canonical question. Is there more than one Marauders map? Did each Marauder have a copy for themselves? Oh, now this character design for the Dementor is exactly when you have a mental image of what
this is right.
This was 100% to the T in my mental image I don't know about you all.
Oh yeah.
I think, the ones in 5 were not as good.
Because Alfonso Cuarón didn't direct it. Duh.
Well, they could have still used the same design.
So Dementors are like just another creature, right? Like they're not like they ask them to do this job and they do it.
Essentially. Yeah.
So do they go home at the end of the day and like they have like Death Eater families and like
Dallas, you have just created a Family Guy interstitial without even meaning to. You realize that, right? Like that's a Family Guy
You're
joke
not
waiting
wrong.
to happen. And the tying of the scream into the sound of the train whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Great sound design. See, there's so many things that this movie does perfectly in my mind. I know. I'm fanboying. It's my turn, William.
Nothing wrong with that.
My turn. That's my
It's Ares, the
ex-wife.
god of war.
Oh, sorry. What was that thing? Yeah, what's the driver going to help you with though? Like,
You should have just plowed him over. There's no situation where you should have stopped this train.
I'm gonna say that the Dementors probably incapacitated the driver as well.
it cooled the steam tanks and that's
Fair.
why the train couldn't run.
oh, that's actually
Golly.
a very
Look at
Yeah.
you, Dallas.
Made that up on the fly.
what I like about
Michael's
this right there. Like he's hearing things, experiencing things, PTSD, honestly, being brought to the surface. But now he's almost being like made to feel like he is extra removed from the wizarding world. Like that's not normal to hear things. Kind of like in 2, where you're hearing snakes talk to you. That's kind of weird. Just one more thing, making him feel like an outsider.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that one shot of the carriages was one of those, you got to put that detail in here. It's not going to pay off for a while, where Rowling kind of intervened, like where she
Also-
insisted that creature be in the movie.
Well,
I know a Harry Potter fact.
I think I know where
Who's
you're
directing who's directing the choir right now?
going. The choir director.
Yeah,
The choir.
very good. Very good.
and he is not Flitwick.
No.
I know. But we all just went,
But-
oh, it's Flitwick.
Everyone assumed he was Flitwick, so he became Flitwick later on in the series.
All right.
And then so Flitwick just got a makeover.
And on top of that, though, elephant in the room, new Dumbledore.
Yep.
Ooh. This is actually how I imagine Dumbledore.
Oh, really?
No, for me, it was always Harris. Like Harris was
I've always
the
been
epitome of
Gambon.
Dumbledore.
I've always been Team Gammon because he has that. He feels like somebody that Voldemort would actually be scared of. Still has a wit.
See, that's what I always said. It's like in the first 2, I think Harris is the perfect Dumbledore for the Dumbledore of the first 2. And then I don't necessarily think I could have seen him fight Voldemort in movie 5. But I think Gambon embodies Dumbledore better in the more action Dumbledore.
Right there, another what they would call a bumping the lamp moment in reference to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The fact that they are doing practical forced perspective and have Hagrid bump the table with other people in the shot. That is dedication right there. How? I don't know how. Maybe it was CGI. That's impressive. Good work.
The forced perspective in the Lord of the Rings, though, I think blows
absolutely.
this out of the water.
Well, I mean, that's a little thing right there. That's going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Also, who picked Ron's hairstyle for this movie? I know people rag on 4 for their hairstyle. it was in fashion. Ron's hair doing the what thing
No. It wasn't in fashion.
in 4. Well,
between
I mean,
the
kinda.
movies,
the swoopy hair was
Well,
everywhere at that.
between the movies, they are told to you can't get a haircut until we decide what hair we're going to do. But the guy who directed the movie didn't know that and thought that that's the hair they were supposed to have. So that's the hair that they had. And how?
So everyone just had
that
long hair.
That effect blew me away and still does. Him snuffing out and relighting the candle.
Okay.
And I remember this speech.
We're about to get something really weird, though. Are we all going to get the version of the movie with added scenes with her in it? The and Sir Cadogan? Is that?
No, there he is in the background.
Yeah, but there's one version. There's like cuts that ran on ABC Family that had extra Sir Cadogan in it. Versus, yeah. I wonder what we're gonna each get.
How long is your cut?
2:21:38.
Yeah, that was mine.
Mine's 2:21:38. So we'll be fine.
Dang it! All right.
But I will say that speech from Dumbledore and in the opening in the Great Hall scene that won me over to Michael Gambon being the role.
And this was not in the book. They only talk about him steaming at the ears, but.
Yeah,
creating a candy that gives you that fits so perfectly. Does anyone know what candy does that?
Animal crackers. Animal crackers.
Pepper imps.
Makes your ears sting?
There's the one that make you smoke at the ears, yeah.
Yeah.
Which ones make you sound like a hyena?
That was created for this movie.
Oh, that whole bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I love this scene right here. Yes, it's a little dark that what's about to happen to this bird, but the tour of the grounds to be like, here you go.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Coran's insistence of this has to be geographically grounded and we have to map out where everything is.
Right, yeah.
Oh. Trelawney. There's only one other person who could play this role.
And she turned it down.
Really?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton was offered the role?
Yeah.
Really?
They had no one else.
I didn't know that.
But she is fundamentally against boarding schools.
What?
And so she turned the role down.
That's almost like Neil McDonough will not... he's the character actor who always plays bad guys, super blonde eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
He will not have kissing scenes or intimate scenes because he's very devoutly Catholic. And he actually got kicked off some TV show because he wouldn't do any of that. Which, I mean, good on you for holding your principles, but fundamentally against boarding schools, so you won't do Harry Potter.
I know, like that's a very... I wouldn't die on that hill, I guess.
I mean, they are British, and boarding schools are a very British thing.
So, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen this movie, which you probably should have already at this point. Is Hermione in every single shot in this scene?
She wasn't in the first one.
Okay. I'm not about to go rewind it right now, but because that would screw up our timing.
And that would not be kind if you rewound.
Or mindful or demure, which I'm really going to date that reference right now. Wow. Woof.
I laugh, but I had to look up what is mindful and demure literally today. So I've mentally campaigned for her to return and be McGonagall in the TV show.
Did you say mentally campaigned for her?
Yeah, because I haven't done it out loud or online or anything. I'm just
all right,
thinking
fine.
about it real
We're all
hard.
going to get on change.org to sign a petition. Like,
just mentally.
But, I mean, she is one.
Now,
she's kind of like Oldman in that regard. She disappears into her role.
Yeah.
And she even played Trunchbull.
All right, yeah.
And I love right there, they're like, wait a second. You can't be doing this at the same time, silly goose. And she's like, watch me.
The number of reveals and twists in this one story alone.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Also, can we talk about that that one kid who just ominously talked about death in the Grim?
Yeah. I know another thing. I know another thing that's coming up. We're about to see Margot Robbie's husband. Anyone know this already? No? No one?
No
one? Okay.
Who is Margot Robbie's husband?
Margot Robbie, who is Barbie.
Yes, I'm aware who I am aware of
was
Barbie.
A massive Harry Potter fan. Her husband is the kid that Draco will shove past coming up. So we'll see it in just a second, but it's like a blink and you'll miss it. But he was an extra in a couple of these Harry Potter movies, and she's a massive Harry Potter nerd. And she loved that he's in the movies.
Did you know that Julianne and Derek Huff of Dancing with the Stars are
they can
extras?
Dance. They're really good at it.
Yeah, they are, but they're extras in some of the Quidditch scenes in Chamber, I think. Yeah.
All right. I think I don't know if we can see him in any of these wide shots, but I don't know.
When does Crab and or Goyle get traded out for Zabini?
Oh, the last one.
The last one?
No. Half-Blood Prince.
That's the most teenage boy thing you could have said. You know, like playing with your wand under the bed and you're supposed to stroke it. You know, like, no. All right, that's getting cut out of the commentary. Whoops.
I hated that.
Also, what's going on with Seamus's tie? Why is it 2 inches? I'm sorry. We had to see that.
We want you to
like this big.
We want you to inject your own character in it. So come dressed and styled how you want. And Seamus showed up, and it was like me showing up with orange hair and Cody with a buzzed head.
That is
the director
what I like
probably
about...
just looked at him and went, I don't.
Yeah. Quran actually gets to the like children being children at school. What did you say about Hagrid, Cody?
I hated that Hagrid never really fully recovered as a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Kind of gets screwed over, doesn't he?
In the fourth one, it's the blast-ended Scroots. And no one liked that. And the fifth one, things go to the dogs for
everyone.
I wish at one point he was like seen as a competent teacher.
I mean, whenever he did Bowtruckles and Nifflers, those were both really good lessons.
He started to rebound a bit in 4. He started rebounding a bit in 4, but then 5, everything just kind of goes to pieces for him again with Umbridge.
A great moment of
foreshadowing,
teenage hormones kicking in. Oh, I don't want to feel that. That's weird.
They definitely alluded to the Harry-Ron romance earlier.
Harry and Ron romance, really
interesting ship, but okay.
The Hermione and Ron
I'm fairly
ship.
certain that has been written somewhere.
Oh, for sure. He's just like, plop.
This is Williams at his finest right here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
you start with the drums.
This gets me in my feels. This takes me to like Christmas, because this is what came on every Christmas. And this little scene of him soaring on Buckbeak is what ABC Family would always feature
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
As they were announcing the, Harry Potter weekend or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you all heard the theory that some of the artifacts and buildings and just items in the wizarding world are transfigured magical creatures?
No. Tell me
So
more.
there's a creature. It was in Crimes of Grindelwald with the Fantastic Beasts called the Zuwu. Damn, I had to get
freedom,
that.
the joy, the
yeah.
mirth. That's a powerful moment. I love it.
Did you all see the Crimes of Grindelwald? The one that was in Wizarding France. So that giant cat creature that could basically teleport. He rides on the back of to get from the Ministry of Magic to the graveyard. There's a theory that the night bus is one of those creatures that they transfigured because it essentially possesses the same power.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Where you hear this big bang and then all of a sudden you're rocketing down another lane.
Here comes Margot Robbie's husband. Wait for it. One of, I think it was the kid on the left with longer hair, but I don't know for sure. It's one of those two kids that gets shoved. She's very proud of the fact, and therefore the fact that I know this makes me proud of knowing the fact. So you're welcome. They're very proud creatures, but once you are on a level playing field and you have their respect, you can point a stern finger at somebody.
Did you see
there, though? Reminds me of a video I just saw where I watched a guy scolding a black bear and telling him to get out of their campfire ring, and the bear like waddles up and swipes at him, rips a hole in his pants, and he's like, "No, get out."
Have you seen the girl inside the cabin with the bear outside saying, "Can I pet that dog? Yeah, can I pet that dog? I want to pet that dog." They put the headless hunt in this movie.
Right.
I would love to have more ghosts. Could have lost his arm.
Well, you have ghosts in your house right now.
I do?
Yeah.
I thought William had the ghost. The lights were always flickering, turning on.
No, that was a poor wiring job for our hot water heater.
Still trying to understand the ghosts in my house reference, but I'll puzzle it eventually.
Oh, and then here's the another reference, another creepy kid that's never seen again after this movie.
Yeah, he's the one that talked about the Grim. Like,
he's so serious. They're like, well, he transferred into the divination department full time going on. He's like, I'm real good at this.
He's like
being grim. Oh,
I feel like Gary Oldman would.
It's these shots right here that make me appreciate this movie more than the transition.
No, this one.
Going through the mirror.
The mirror.
I feel like Gary Oldman's mental health was never better when he was filming this movie because he just got to scream and just be like, "Grah!" so many times. I would say probably the most unrealistic part about the Wizarding World is their ability to keep the creatures out of Muggle sight. I feel like that would probably be the most difficult thing.
I thought you were going to say Pavarti turning the giant snake into that terrifying clown. Like, you find that hilarious?
I love it.
Get a mental eval after that because they're like, "Get out! You made it worse."
I love that they took the same classroom and they were like, the Pixies really did a number with this skeleton. We should put that back up on the ceiling again. Last year, they had a field day with that. and it was really a hazard in the classroom. Let's just put it right back over their heads for display.
Everything about, like, there's no OSHA standards in the wizarding.
William, as the resident
There really
expert,
is not.
What is that skeleton above them? Do you know what creature it is?
It's Welsh green.
A Welsh
Dragon.
green?
This right here is why Snape is still a bad guy.
Are
in
you
my
ahead
estimation.
of us? Easy time.
No, he's saying, what's the thing that you fear the most? And he had said Professor Snape.
And this kid's parents was tortured by Bellatrix Lestrange.
Into
And
insanity.
yet Professor Snape scares him more.
I don't know. If you had gone to the school that I went through through high school, Mrs. Lawson was an imposing figure.
Dr.
Just
Cat
saying.
scared me in college.
Kathy Bulmer, I had a healthy fear of her, like a holy fear.
Mine
of that
wasn't
woman.
holy.
Do you know, we've used this scene to help Jenny through some nightmares.
Really?
Really? That's adorable. I love that.
Well, they really started after she got a bee caught under her hair against her neck.
Oh.
And so it buzzed around for a while until it got like freaked out and it stung her. And that triggered this like fear of bugs. And then she'll have nightmares about things. And sometimes if we go back to lay with her again, she'll say, but I can't get that out of my head. And so we showed her this and we talked about it. And they'll say one of the ways that they help fight their fear is they try to make it funny and talk to it spells ridiculous. And yes.
Cody, as our resident Williams expert, is this music, the fun jazz score, is that Williams' creation or is that diegetic? Something
Williams.
like, okay, I didn't know if that was a real song that they had just repurposed.
I mean, Williams started his career as a jazz pianist. So, like, this is his roots right here.
Who finds that even remotely funny?
Like, immediately she should be taken somewhere. Get those Dementors in here
Madam
now.
Humphrey, it's time for you to evaluate her health.
Fast track to St. Mungo's right there. Yeah, that's just terrifying.
What is interesting to me, and I'm curious, does a boggart have the ability to take on any of the powers of the...
Right.
Like, the fact that standing in front of a Dementor, we do see it later on.
Harry does start to have, like, visions of his mother screaming during the during the boggart Dementor.
That's
so
what
there's
I'm
actually a
wondering.
fan theory from Super Carlin Brothers that boggarts are baby Dementors. And that, like, a fully grown boggart is a Dementor.
Follow-on question for world stuff. Are Muggles able to access the surrounding villages, or are they completely... Because I know the Shrieking Shack has a... And the reason I ask, notice all the kids are in their just regular clothes, right? Because they're going off campus. They want to be casual. That's fine. But do Muggles access the surrounding villages?
Hogsmeade is one of the only completely wizarding villages in Britain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
good to know.
That
now,
yeah, because that's where the hags and the banshees and goblins are able to go free. Creatures that would not fit in the Muggle world, like wizards would.
Right.
Now, whether or
Why
not
do they wear
it's-
street clothes? Because I thought that, like, wizards have a hard time, like, putting together regular outfits because they don't really know what that looks like.
I think it's kind of a youth thing where, like, the kids are more hip with regular clothes, and then the parents and the grandparents are more traditional.
I can see that.
And they also kind of lean back on the uniform and the wizarding clothes a lot less in the movies.
Right, yeah.
Like,
I didn't know if that was just
you're-
one's different than the other.
And
Those pesky youths, they're constantly degrading our culture. I wonder.
well, and I heard that there was actually a situation where, like, there was almost like a wizarding fashion renaissance after the war with Voldemort, as sort of like a, we're going to
Interesting.
embrace all of what it means to be a wizard. So we're going to get back into the cloaks and whatnot.
Right.
And distinguish ourselves as opposed to, just fitting in with muggles.
But also,
in more comfortable clothes.
Hey, look how beautiful the framing of this is. Literally, he's divided from one's looking forward, one's looking back because one's reminiscing, one's thinking about the future. I mean, it's just, there's symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
He's also divided and kept separate through the framing of the window panes. I mean, it's just, there's so much that Alfonso Cuarón gets right. And this whole shot was just one push in and now pull out. Ugh. Things like that.
I think, 3 went one direction, 4 went another direction. And I think Yates very much found the happy medium later on.
Yeah.
William, do you know what thing Harry was just holding in his hand there that was like a globe with a little ball inside?
Is that a
some
remember?
kind of?
Might have been his sneakoscope.
Huh. I didn't know if it was like a known object.
Because when Ron gets back from Egypt, he brings Harry a sneakoscope, and because of the presence of Pettigrew, it's like spins and whirs all semester long, so he ends up stuffing it in a sock and putting it in the bottom of his trunk.
Oh.
This was
Something
another.
that the wizards never got down that Muggles did pretty early on is elevators.
No,
Saying.
that's Percy, right?
Well,
Percy-
I mean, when in outside of places like Hogwarts, you can just teleport when you're an adult. Do you really need an elevator?
That's Percy to the left
Percy.
of Dumbledore. Right?
Okay, that's what I was
had to
asking.
use these stairs all the time.
Because notice he's actually in his robe still. Because he's a rules stickler.
Yep.
And then
Oh, of
meanwhile,
course.
all of his siblings are in casual clothes. Just a fun moment there. I think it does come down to the how closely aligned to the wizarding traditions are you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to think, in the 1930s, Jude Law Dumbledore is in a pretty swanky suit.
He looked dapper.
At what point does he get into the bedazzled purple cloaks?
When you turn 40, laissez-faire,
It was about that point that he ran out.
Oh, wait. Did we just hear a howl? Was that our fearless defense against the dark arts teacher?
I mean,
yes.
It's a full moon.
very good on the details.
One of my favorite.
You don't live in a prison at all.
They got
One of my
third shift
favorite
ones.
facts about this scene right here, as everyone, I mean, I'm sure this is old hat for anyone who actually has, William has to know this one already, but while all the children were laying there, Gambon and Rickman put a fart thing in Harry's sleeping bag, and then they were just playing pranks on the kids, which I think is awesome. That they were helping keep it such a fun environment for them. Also, you were all nodding, so sorry for telling you something you already knew.
It was still great, though.
But if anyone who is listening now didn't know that.
At this point in their conversation, Dumbledore ended it with Snape. So, but this whole, for in dreams we enter a world entirely of our own, this completely sucked me out of it.
Oh, yeah.
What?
When I watched this.
Why?
What about that?
It's
That's
like
the kind of waxing philosophically that I imagine Dumbledore doing.
the way that scene ended, Snape was like pushing, like, do you feel like he could have had help in this castle? And he basically shuts it down with a finality. Like, I do not believe that anyone in this castle is helping Sirius Black in. And they're like, conversation over. He didn't go, well, in dreams, we... Like. Also, so good call, Alex. You heard that howl. The next day,
Snape is now
Sirius
teaching...
Lupin's out. Yeah.
Snape, yeah. Turn to page 394. So at what point does the jinx kick in for the being Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher? I'm guessing substitute
Wednesday
doesn't count.
By Wednesday.
Like,
oh no, it's in effect.
No, what I'm saying is that it didn't affect Snape because he was just a substitute as opposed to...
You have to be on like a contract.
I mean, it's so jinx that he doesn't even get to keep the job. He's back to his normal potions duties.
Merwin.
Oh no, that's covered by the quill right now. I'm fairly certain you can see the chain.
We've seen glimpses of it, like when they're out in the paddock for the hippogriffs. It's like it's visible for like a second, and then
there were like
goes
2
out
or
of
3
frame.
frames when she first raised her hand, and it was pushing in on her that you could see the time turner. There it is.
What would you want your animagus to be?
Want it, or would it be?
What would you hope for it be?
I would hope for maybe a falcon or a hawk.
I was going to say hawk.
Same.
More than likely, I'd probably be like a bunny rabbit. Just my luck. The opposite of what I want to be. Yeah, groundhog.
I'd end up being a starfish.
A naked mole rat.
No, it's Patrick.
Also,
Now, my
what is
friend
the
Patrick
skill set that kids develop that they're able to doodle? I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. How do you learn to doodle moving doodles? Also, he signed it DM on the side. Did you all notice?
Yeah.
Like, what bully even puts his own signature on the bullying note?
There was somebody on Instagram that was selling sweatshirts embroidered with the ink drawing of Harry being like electrocuted on the broom.
Also, having watched Welcome to Wrexham and Ted Lasso, it feels far less absurd to watch this many spectators in these conditions.
Right.
Listen, if it's pouring down rain like that, I'm not going to sit at the baseball game. Hockey is indoors. Soccer and Quidditch, you're going to sit out in that weather? No.
Maybe Britain doesn't have an OSHA.
Is nobody going to acknowledge the fact that one of the Hufflepuff players just got struck by lightning?
No, because we're all Gryffindors. You know,
that's true.
Well, and that's technically Cedric Diggory.
Wait, what? The guy who just got struck
going
by
after the
lightning is
snitch.
technically Diggory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he catches the snitch in this game.
Yeah.
And that's what Amos Diggory was bragging about. He's like, Dad, he fell off his broom. Well, you didn't fall off your broom there, did you, Sid? Oh.
Wow.
So that's Twilight himself.
Such a great cut there from the umbrella to the Dementor.
The cloak of the Dementor, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the moment right there where Iron Man learned that he needed to switch to a gold titanium alloy as opposed to, because it freezes on him on the way up. No? No one? Okay. I'll just.
Michelle,
What did you do about the ice problem?
About
what ice problem?
I talked to Michelle about this, and it's like, I'd be a sports fan if Quidditch was real. And she just looked at me and said, no, you wouldn't. If Quidditch was real, you'd be a wizard, and you would treat sports like you treat sports now. It would be normal for you. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
So who was it that just kept him from slapping the ground?
Dumbledore.
That was Dumbledore.
Without a
Using
wand.
wandless magic.
Dubbeldorf. Yep.
Just the force.
Arresto momentum.
He was in the movie. Yeah. But in the book, he then drives the Dementors off.
So you remember, does anybody remember Wizards of Waverly Place?
I remember
The
it
TV show
I
existed.
on
never
Disney?
watched it.
Okay. They had this rule where it was like, oh, you can use magic, like create spells if they rhyme. And that's kind of how I felt about that. Or Arresto momentum. Like, ooh, like.
I want to...
Or it was
I
just
want to
Latin.
know, how does one invent spells?
Magic.
Like,
Yeah, it's just.
what is the process? Is it like coding? Do you...
Who
you
has
write-
to QA
write
test that? When does it go to user acceptance testing?
Do you think it's like a recipe?
Probably because Snape invented Septum
Sempra.
What was it from?
Yeah.
It's
Man,
Like you.
what was
you
the
can
name of the spell?
Sectum Sempra.
Thank you,
Sectum
thank you.
Like you can force. Like if the will is strong enough and you have a vessel like a wand, if you know what the outcome is supposed to be, if you're a strong enough wizard, you could just make it happen. But to like standardize the process so that somebody else can do it.
Also, Homeboy looks hungover as all get out. Like, look at him. Let's walk through the really shaded forest. My head hurts.
Is Skibbity Toilet a spell? It's just that we don't have the magic to make
I'm
it do
shutting
things.
that down.
no.
Like it leaked, and they were like, "Oh no, we're just gonna have to make a video. Just make a video and pretend like it's something else."
Using these interstitials to show the passage of time. Like first it was the Whomping Willow losing its leaves. Now it's the snow flurries sneaking in, and now everything's like it's so good. So good.
I just want to say, at the lake, I love islands and lakes. I always have. I just love the idea of like being able to like canoe your way to an island and a lake. And I just love that little moment right there. That's just me.
Man, it's a
Also,
real spot too. Like you could go
Yeah.
visit that exact spot, which is
When
fun.
I was in Boy Scouts, there was a camp that had a lake with an island on it. It was real fun.
There, that's on the bucket list. Is to go ride the Jacobite train across the Glenfiddich Viaduct and be able to see
Those are
like
words.
exactly where the Hogwarts Castle was planted in the real world and see Dumbledore's grave. And
You're playing with the big boys now. You're welcome. A Prince of Egypt reference. Welcome to
Thus
the big
saith
boy.
the
No,
Lord.
no one. Okay.
Thus saith the Lord.
So in 10 minutes, I would 1,000% lose my invisibility cloak. I would drop it
Well,
and be like,
it's
I haven't got a
visible.
clue where
It's
it's at.
visible when you're not wearing it. It's got like a embroidery pattern.
I thought that was just the underside. Is that both sides? if
no,
you're not wearing
that's
it?
both sides. You can see it when you're not wearing it. It just turns you.
It's actually just a green sheet
Boo,
that they wrap around them.
So if
I
I
loved
put
it.
it on, it becomes invisible. How much of me do I have to put on? Just
I
my
think it
legs?
has to just like wrap. Like if it
Yeah.
It
connects
touches
itself.
itself.
Yeah, I'm making up
That's
the
what
rules
she
here, but that
said.
seems to be because he can poke his head out.
Albivis Dumbledore.
Did they? Is this really the like? Is this the movie where they really started leaning into them like speaking at the same time? And I think they do it a little bit in 2 with, but like having the twins kind of finish each other's sentences.
Did you see the sugar skulls on the shelf?
What is it that we're looking at?
There were sugar skulls
Oh,
on the shelf, which are actual like real confections.
yes. And the inclusion of all the copper pots, which are actually very well known to be used in confectionery production. Well done.
Is Willy Wonka a wizard?
Probably.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Also, poor Neville. Harry is a bad friend. I'm just gonna say it. He's kind of the he's kind of the Jim Halpert of the wizarding world. And if you understand that reference, we can be friends, but not to be confused with Friends, which is just a bad TV show.
It's the most haunted thing in Britain. It's only 30 years old.
You know, I didn't even consider how the Shrieking Shack would have only garnered its reputation over the past decade, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, how many werewolves are there?
More 2 decades.
2 decades? Okay. See, and it's moments like this with the whimsy again coming in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how Harry's able to get from one side to the other so quickly, but good on him. He didn't even cause Draco to trip. That's all on him. Don't have to be the fastest runner. You just have to run faster than your slowest friend.
Yup.
It's like when we were chased by coyotes on horseback and we got past the hikers. Like, okay, we can slow down now.
It's an early warning system if you hear them attack.
You know what, Ron? Of all the people to have a crush on, I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't get it, but I mean, like, I sure.
Hey,
I guess
I've had my fair share of old lady crushes.
What?
Oh, you know what? We got some chimney sweeps. Canonically, is the chimney sweeps from Mary Poppins? Are they all?
Oh, Mary Poppins went to Hogwarts. That's
okay. Perfect. I
established.
Or she's a Time Lord.
I'm going to lean into the Hogwarts theory.
No.
But all the chimney sweeps.
With the non-detectable expansion charm on her bag.
But it's also bigger on the inside, and she doesn't age now that there's a second one.
Also, the fact that the shrunken heads are like, close the door, you're letting out all the warm air. And they're just shrunken heads. Like, they must have very low standards for what they want out of life.
Right,
but being warm is on the list.
Yeah, there's some like weird concepts of sentience that really needs to be addressed, like the mandrakes. Like
when they start throwing raucous parties,
first-person POV shot mixed with being able to hear Harry's breath, like so good.
Exposition dump.
Something might, but this feels weird. I'm like not looking at something, but it's good. This is the way exposition should be done.
If you farted, would it stay in the cloak, or is it porous?
Yeah, it would stay in Harry's cloak.
Yeah,
because Harry's cloak,
unlike other times that you can actually see the scent, like a pie on a windowsill, it actually keeps the scent waves from being visible.
Question: since the cloak is one of the Deathly Hallows, if he's wearing the cloak and gets Avada Kedavra, would he survive?
Oh, can Avada
is it a
Kedavra
shield against Avada Kedavra since it's one of the Hallows?
I mean, I think it would be in the sense that why would you fire a killing curse at nothing?
Can Avada Kedavra destroy a Horcrux? Wait, no, Horcrux, not Deathly Hallow. Never mind. I'm mixing my.
Oh, I was going to say it destroyed the Horcrux that was in Harry.
Yes, in the lesson of the fable is that he escaped death until he was ready.
Uh-huh.
In the lesson of the fable, but what does
deeper.
Master of Death mean? It's very unclear if like collecting all three makes you the Master of Death.
I don't.
What would that play out in? Would that play out in reality?
Well, we know it is not impenetrable to spells because he's wearing it when he climbs up in the luggage rack in Half-Blood Prince, and Draco
he
Malfoy
does get hit
and
by.
He got hit. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So it's not made of, it doesn't have Kevlar.
It renders them undetectable.
That's the DARPA version that they're working on.
Right.
But Malfoy was able to detect him because it slipped and he saw his shoe as he was going up into the luggage rack.
Mm-hmm.
If you're under it long enough, does it build up enough heat to where like a FLIR camera, would it get it? Would it catch it?
No, it renders the wearer undetectable.
So it wouldn't build up heat under it?
So if he's wearing the cloak, he wouldn't show up on the map.
What were those orbs that just floated by? The green orbs? Anybody see those? Just
magic things.
Also, spine candles?
Yeah, okay, so watch this. You will see a candle.
Not letters on them, don't they? And numbers?
Yeah, one's a C3.
Also, is he in the set for Dumbledore's office?
Maybe.
It sure looks like.
I mean, redecorate it. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm sure Dumbledore would have been like, oh, you want to teach Harry how to do Patronus?
So
sure, why not?
One of the questions on the Harry Potter game show, like the quiz show, they played a clip, paused it, and said, what were the Roman numerals on the vertebrae of the spine candle?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Did you know it? Did you?
No. No, I didn't.
Some
that
Harry
was
Potter nerd
not what
you
I was
are.
Focusing on.
I'm watching my on Amazon, and it has the IMDb facts, and one of the facts says David Thewlis was originally considered to play Quirrell. In the first movie.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So was Colin Firth.
Can't see it. Oh, 8. It was 8 and 9.
There.
8 and 9.
Right there.
8 and 9. Yes.
This is the set with Dumbledore's office. IMDb just confirmed that. So I think I might just leave this up. To be like, fun fact.
Cheating. No cheating. We got to fun fact it ourselves. Anybody can do the IMDb.
Did I tell you guys that like every time that I hear about the lesson on how to conjure a Patronus,
the hand lighting,
it basically says you have to think of a really powerful thought or memory, and I keep thinking of the song from Peter Pan.
Right, yeah.
Like think of a wonderful thought, any merry little thought. And I'm like, I wonder if I could do some sort of mashup between those two. So I'm like, let me look at a picture of Peter, John, and Wendy, or like Wendy, John, and Michael.
Are you going to turn them into Harry, Ron, Hermione?
It's uncanny.
Valley.
The analog for each of them. Yes.
Look at just everything about this. Like,
I wonder what those spines are. What creatures those spines are from.
Human? Question mark?
I mean, Dumbledore's got some bodies buried somewhere.
So do Dementors eat you? Like, are they like eating part
suck
of you?
your soul?
They feed on emotion.
So, like, if they were full, would they not do it? They're like, I just ate.
Dementors are.
I just got a 4
Rowling
for 4
has said
from
this.
Wendy's, and I tried the new spicy nuggets. Like, I don't really need another human soul right now.
Dementors, Rowling said, are an allegory for depression.
Mm-hmm.
And they just drain the life and energy out of you. It's why muggles can't see them. So literally a depressed muggle has just Dementors around.
Oh, the little train going around the set, and the elephants holding up the globe. That's so fun.
And of course, chocolate helps cure all forms
Right,
of depression. Like I had Cold Stone the other day, and that helped my depression quite a bit.
And notice he wasn't even eating the chocolate right there. He was just focused on the memory that he was describing. He didn't need the pick-me-up.
I'm still mad at Rowling for killing all the Marauders.
Also, I assume that's probably one of his mother's ugly sweaters that he's wearing.
Probably. Ronald lost his...
I just realized Harry's wearing cargo pants. Oh, no. No, you know what? I don't like the movie anymore. That's dumb.
Did you know the clock tower? That was an addition.
Cargo pants have plenty of spots for Pop-Tarts, as we've all learned.
Gosh. The clock tower was an addition that Quaron put in the movie. It was never been mentioned in the books. There is not a clock tower, but because, as we will find out, time plays such a crucial part in this movie.
Interesting.
He wanted it to literally be a character and a set piece in the actual movie.
I love it.
Did he make this tie?
I will say, playing Hogwarts Legacy, exploring the lake is probably my favorite area. And Hogwarts Legacy is seeing everything in the lake.
Right.
I did not make it that far. I got bored. Maybe I need to go back.
I need to play it on the Xbox because I keep dying and the loading screens on the Switch is kind of driving me crazy. It's a good port for the Switch. I will defend it as a port for the Switch, but it's just the loading screens, if you can't seem to get past the part, get a little old.
Is it a little pervy though that he's just sitting there in bed like watching everybody's whereabouts, or is this the original Find My Friends on iPhone?
That's what it is. He's just like on Alta Vista right now, just hanging out.
AOL.
So
room.
this is where it throws the continuity into question. Peter Pettigrew never showed up on the map for Harry in the books, ever. That's why whenever they were in the Shrieking Shack, they were so flabbergasted. They were like, why would Peter Pettigrew? What? No. And he goes, no, he's there. He's in this room. I saw him on the map, which kind of solidifies my thought that the Marauders only show up on the map to other Marauders. And I don't know, maybe because Harry shares half
his
of
father's
James's genetics. Maybe, but...
And he is out at night. Where is this invisibility cloak?
Yeah, this encounter with Snape was not him wandering the corridors at night. This was him after the Shrieking Shack when his hood slipped. Malfoy saw his head and bolted back to the castle. And he says, "Why did Malfoy see your head in Hogsmeade if your head was there, then it stands to reason that the rest of your body would not be there." And then he says, "Turn out his pockets."
I kind of like this change then, in that case. One addition to the Lumos spell that I just adore is the way the rays emanate and pulse.
I definitely want a wand flashlight. I love Sassy Harry.
Is the wizard in the picture behind them wearing a funnel on his head? Let's see if
A dunce cap, maybe?
No, it looks like a funnel.
I'm watching on a Chromebook, so it's not the best quality, picture quality.
Yep. See, there it is. Right over his shoulder. It's
Yeah.
I think it's a funnel. A little veiled threat there.
I do not have nice things to say about Snape, but Alan Rickman is a god of an actor.
He's like, I haven't seen this in quite a while. How did you get this?
There was a threat that Snape makes in the book where he says, "Is it possible that he could have gotten it from the manufacturers?" Because he knew.
He knew.
Yeah.
Now, here is the thing. He knows reality, what actually happened. He knows what went down. No, he doesn't.
Not at this point.
Not at this point.
It wasn't until he saw Peter Pettigrew on the map in Ron's pocket, effectively going into the Whomping Willow, that he began to doubt it. Because this whole time he thought Sirius did it.
Really?
Betrayed the Potters, killed Pettigrew.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good to know. I thought he knew all along.
Yeah, one of the bits of his monologue in the Shrieking Shack was, "So did I." See, and I don't like this because if he would have told him that, he could have literally flipped open the map. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Pinpointed exactly where Pettigrew was in the castle, stormed into the Gryffindor common room, yanked him out of Ron's bed.
Or he was going.
Sirius would have survived.
Or he was going. I need to know how to play this strategically because I don't know what to do about this yet.
In the context of the movie, yes, but in the book, that never happened.
The Marauders map, it was one of Rowling's regrets. She didn't realize what sort of omnipotent force.
I love this. Wait, I love this.
I'm gonna insult you.
Though you may be young in years, it became evident to me that the heart that beats beneath with your bosom is shriveled as the pages of the books to which you so desperately cleave.
She calls her. She has the heart of an old maid. Like, oh, jeez.
Oh, have I said something?
Michelle would take that as a compliment. She admits she's a 90-year-old woman. She was reading Murder, She Wrote today.
I have the heart of a 90-year-old woman.
Now, why would Harry be like, yeah, I'm going to go return this? He's not exactly teacher's pet, but hey.
Right?
Especially for this class.
And all those stairs? I don't think so.
They never do exams in the movies.
I really want to know what all of the
happens during the
inscriptions
exam.
are on the walls. I wonder what they are.
Spells, I think.
Was it? It looked like names. I thought I saw the word Edward, but doesn't mean much.
They're donors to
And
Hogwarts.
when you say when you say Edward, it creates the sparkling charm.
Eduardo Leviosa.
Chris sent me this meme where somebody said, hang on.
Tonight, betrayed his friends.
She needs to get on some Zyrtec or some kind of allergy medicine or asthma medicine.
Has to call the Ghostbusters up here.
What was the meme, William?
I'm going to try to find it. Oh, it was...
you had to be there. Okay.
No. It was the
Can't
old...
read the names.
It was the old Yeller movie poster. But it was old Beller.
Beller. I don't understand that one. I don't get it.
Twilight.
That was Bella from Twilight. But it was the old... It was... Maybe it's because we were very sleepy and getting ready to go to bed, but I laughed for 10 solid minutes and I couldn't stop.
The most quintessentially executioner possible. Like, just...
right.
He looks like he's out of Hagar, the old comic strip about the Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
I think this man knew what he wanted to be when he grew up. He just wanted to kill. This is so satisfying in both the book and the movie.
Yep.
Also, the rock placement there is very Stonehengian.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I subscribe to the Artemis Fowl.
I physically just tried leaning around Ron to see if I could see them around the corner in the future past. Oh my gosh. I just leaned.
I subscribe to the Artemis Fowl canon that Stonehenge is a pizza restaurant. But
I never was into the Artemis Fowl universe, so that is going to need some explanation at a later time.
Fair enough. They're great books, but they are definitely YA, so I don't know how much they would speak to you now.
This level of detail in a set, too many things are shot on green screen nowadays, and just the amount of detail. Bring this back. I've seen a few movies recently that have, but this should be the standard.
I watched it was Star Trek First Contact when I watched that movie for the first time. I started to fully understand why people have such a problem with CGI versus practical effect, because so much of that was film and practical and you felt it.
So I talked about the scenes, like the beginning of this sequence with Megan and Katie from Swish and Flick on Potter Plus. We talked about additions that the movies made that we think made the story better. And more of these, it happened because it always happened moments during the sequence. So Hermione never throws the rocks through the window in the books. She never howls at the moon to distract Lupin.
Man, it's been so long since I've read the book. I did not know that. That's insane.
And this, it kind of builds up to Harry realizing that he can cast the spell because he already did, because more of those moments have already happened. Like, we'll see here in a little bit, he ends up throwing the stone, or she ends up throwing the stone. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "They're coming." where she howls at the moon, "What are you doing? We're saving your life." And he starts to realize that, oh, we've already been through this. We've already helped ourselves in the past.
And that's why I think a lot of people had an issue with Cursed Child, because never in Harry Potter do you change the timeline in the rules of time travel that is established.
I haven't experienced Cursed Child in any format, so I'm lost here.
The one microcosm of time travel that we see is 3 hours.
True.
And then
true.
Never again, for the best, because time travel is just a hot mess.
I mean,
it's a Pandora's box.
They mention it in the Department of Mysteries where they destroy the time turners. But
I love how it should have ended, where they go to Prisoner of Azkaban and Harry just shakes Hermione and goes, "Be sure to keep that time turner, because something might conveniently destroy all of them, and this one might be the only one left." And then Snape goes back in time and kills young Voldemort.
You know how heavy that would be?
Like at least 7 pounds.
See,
at least.
At least. Maybe even 8 pounds.
Yeah. I thought you could say at least and pick anything.
That's a family joke.
Low, yeah.
I've always said it now. I think my dad probably started that. And now I just at least 7. Now, I'm going to say something controversial. I prefer this design of the Whomping Willow because it looks more like a willow as opposed to a big gnarled mess. Just my 2 cents. Ron, wait, Harry says, as if he has some kind of control over being dragged down a hole.
Why are you going that way, Ron? Stop.
Ron, come back.
This is all your fault.
I sure would like to.
And once again, the Harry Potter universe doesn't have OSHA at all. This tree would have been built if they had an OSHA.
Been built? Do you think this tree was built?
You know what I mean. You're worse than my students.
There would have been cones. There would have been a fence.
There's whole floors in the castle that they basically say you're not allowed to go there if you're under a certain age.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck. Don't go towards the lake or the forest. They're not really too worried about it. Of course, when you can regrow bones and such with just,
That's true. It takes a lot to kill a wizard.
I don't know. You could break a neck on that, but...
True.
Well, can't regrow that.
It's a ghost now.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's the consolation prize. We told you not to go down that corridor. You're going to haunt the girls' bathroom forever.
So are you stuck in the area in which you died? The rest of the ghosts are not, right?
They have whole ghost conventions that they go to.
Myrtle can leave.
She just hanging out in that.
She goes down to the dungeons for Flamel's, not Flamel, Sir Nicholas's Death Day party. She's in the lake whenever Harry's in the lake.
It's the ultimate case of Arrested Development, because essentially Myrtle has been 12
I
years.
Loved that show.
12 years old for 60 years. And if you're going through puberty for 60 years, you'd be like Myrtle too.
You know what's amazing? Gary Oldman played both Churchill and Truman. he's played both sides of the allied powers in
I was gonna say they were definitely on the same side.
Yes.
But I mean, talk about an actor who just melts into their role.
Or the fat suit, as far as the Churchill one was concerned.
Just saying, they could have been a little more friendly. They're playing the pronoun game. Let's kill him.
Well, you gotta have the dramatic reveal. And then you told me. See, the Expelliarmus charm has lots of different varieties. You know, in this movie, it's just plop out of your hand, and then with Harry Potter, when it's Harry Potter versus Voldemort, it's like this gigantic stream of light.
It's the difference between the Pro and the Pro Max models. Like, it's technically the same iPhone, but you get a better camera with the Max. Is that how it works? Expelliarmus Max?
I don't know.
Does it just make things fly away, or is it specifically things in your hands?
It's a disarming spell.
So if you said it and you pointed it at somebody's pants, it's not going to like fling their pants off.
It's like if you have a bottle in your...
Is that a wand in your pants? Are you excited to see me? See? She had a wand. It could, I guess.
Yeah, see, why does his wand just not go boop?
Because
but in
fingers.
The book, all three of them disarm him, and that's why he flies backwards and gets knocked out.
Well, I mean, Harry using Expelliarmus is like me pressing the A button repeatedly anytime I play a video game.
I'm sorry, hold on. We're all glazing over the fact that how poorly they have explained this situation to three children.
To be fair, it's not like he's serious. Has had a lot of practice with social skills recently.
I don't know. Also, I love this set design so much. The boards,
how it swaying,
like it's so clever.
If you had your hand cut off, could you have your wand attached as a wand attachment and use it that way?
It like Captain Hook?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Also, where do your clothes go when you're an animagus? Do they just kind of like...
They kind of morph with you.
Okay.
Now, if this was rated R Harry Potter...
Or if you're Bruce Banner, either or.
Yeah. But I think he went full commando the next time he transforms out of his clothes.
Yeah, right? Kind of like...
I wonder if he realized, like, my clothes came back, and he didn't think that they would. And so he's like, I'm going to get naked.
I mean, if he's been wearing this... I mean, if he's been wearing the same outfit for 13 years, those are some pretty rank clothes.
And I know, like, the testimony of 3 kids and 1 teacher. Sure, maybe it doesn't carry the same weight.
A werewolf, which is definitely a marginalized faction in the wizarding world.
Yeah, and he was not able to give testimony because he was running the grounds as a werewolf.
He's wearing high heels. Look at that. He's got some lifts on those puppies.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I mean, he's got some nice boots being a rat for 13 years. He was also Mr. Poe in the original series of Unfortunate Events movies, so he was in 2 well-known movies that year.
That was out the same year? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show is
2004.
actually better than Jim Carrey's version. If you could take Jim Carrey out of the movie and replace Neil Patrick Harris,
I would say the TV show is better than the books, but that's just me.
I might actually go that far with you. Yeah.
I hate and love this part all at the same time.
And then, like, 1 year later, he is Commissioner Gordon in Batman.
Thanks, Ron. We had a really, bravado there. I like it. Now, wasn't James the ringleader, though, of the group?
See, and this is, if he's dead, the truth dies with him. No, you could just take his body.
Now you've got
turn me into a flabberworm.
Or Petrificus Totalis, is that what it was?
Or,
is that
why couldn't they just pull the Pevensey memories? Pensieve.
We broke your brain there by talking about the Pevensies. Really?
the
Baudelaires. Include them too.
So Michelle and I Michelle needed some like brainless entertainment this evening, and we watched Avalon High, a Disney Channel original movie about King Arthur. It was quite something.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the children from Narnia, and you were just mixing your.
The brain of King Arthur medieval Narnia is just kind of all wrapped up in there.
Yeah, now we get Naked Rat out of his clothes. I'm not saying that I need an answer definitively on what happens with your clothes.
I wonder if he gets to choose and like he's like, I'm gonna be naked this time.
Maybe it's harder to.
I mean, Dallas, both you and I are known avowed enemies of pants.
Or maybe it takes more effort to like transfigure with your clothes and form that into your fursona.
And, the first time Peter was making a commitment.
Or this was like a threat. He's like, I'm gonna take my clothes off. You want to turn me back? Go ahead, but I'm gonna be naked this time.
Now, here's the follow-up question. Maybe this is getting edited out. You notice that Scabbers has really ugly tufts of hair, which is a reference to other anatomical features. If you look at Scabbers, is it like well endowed or or like, oh, poor Peter. Peter's Peter.
So Snape in this scene, protecting the kids, never happened in the books, and it's another one of those additions that I really loved because it was like he's terrible, yes. Does he make their life miserable? Yes. But in a fight or flight, I have to act as a teacher of the school. My instinct is to stand in front of them and throw my arms out.
Snape is basically what Percy is on the track to become. Like, he is just so dedicated to structure and being rigid.
Snape is another instance of kind of arrested development here.
Bullying gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he never mentally left high school.
There's a Bowling for Soup song about that. High school never ends.
And I think he took it to he let that pain define him. And it became an obsession. Whereas someone needed to like pull him out of it. And honestly, the man needed to find love, like real, genuine love.
It's not often that Cody is the one advocating, like, dude needs to get laid. But I mean, or therapy. Probably just therapy, Cody.
Right.
Honestly, probably, yeah. I would say the mental health services of the Wizarding World aren't great.
Right. Eat chocolate. It'll make you feel better.
You're not wrong.
Third shift, Dementor's coming in.
I know I'm late to the comment, so sorry. If you're watching it live, just back it up, but you can hear the like sound of the ice as it freezes, and I just love that. Great sound design. And it's kind of bizarre because this also feels like it would be the natural end of the movie.
Right.
You know, like this feels like a very final battle-esque. And yet you look at the runtime and you're like, oh, wow, to pace a movie to get to this point, make it feel natural. And then
every time I read the book, I'm always surprised when this day hits. There's like so much of the book left when this day hits.
Yeah. So, hey, good job, JK. Good job, Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
You made it work.
Now, in a moment, we're going to see Sirius's soul.
Yes. It basically is fish food with I think that's a Dragon Ball. I didn't watch any anime.
I mean, it's a Transformer Spark. Like it's the same kind of aesthetic design
but
of
the
a
fish food
Spark.
particles too. Really,
that's from like Green Mile. You know, like the little fly things. That
You're right.
I kind of want to know what Voldemort's soul looked like in this sort of aesthetic.
Do you think it's like the Polyjuice? Like it's different depending on the person?
Also, who
is it?
Dallas, were you the one talking about that you were very confused that you thought Harry thought his dad was a deer? Was that you that we were talking offline? Somebody I know watched this movie for the first time and they were confused because they're like, I saw my dad. And it's like, that was a big old deer over there. Is your
someone I know? And you saw somebody behind it. Like you saw an arm and
right
then like
there.
the edge of it.
Yeah.
At that very dim moment. But
that's my dad's arm.
Yeah.
I would know that arm from anywhere.
I don't think they ever actually bring it up in any of the movies that James was an animagus too, and he turned into a stag.
Yeah, what are the odds that there's that many anime guy in a friend group?
No, it's not. It's not like metamorph mages. No, it's not like Tonks. You can learn to become an animagus.
Oh, anyone can learn. Okay.
Yeah. It's horrendously complicated, and it took them 5 years to do it. But
because they're big, nerd turds who want to mess with
James. James and Sirius figured it out really quickly, and it took that long to get Peter Pettigrew.
I love this. Dumbledore's feigned ignorance throughout this whole scene is just chef's kiss.
So them learning to be animagi is like if one of your friends was like into hacky sack and the rest of you got really good at it too, just to hang out.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Oh, watch the pat on the leg.
So was Lily ever an animagus, or is her Patronus just a deer because in love with James?
Her Patronus was never a doe.
I thought it was a doe because it was Snape's was a doe because he was in love with Lily, and that Lily's was a doe.
I think it was just a manifestation of the doe to the stag. I don't know that they ever talked about Lily's Patronus.
I always just assumed that Lily's Patronus was a doe, but it was Snape's obsession that made it a doe for him.
His little wink right there at her. Like, 3 turn. And Harry and Ron. Just the Ron's reaction, perfect. Like, what is happening right now?
And then her
smacking
his hand away.
Don't touch. I got this. And beautiful editing again. As a oneer right there, because that started back at Ron, went around them as they put the time turner. Now the shot is still going.
Sells the effect.
And there's someone like really wrapped up. Like, what happened there?
The shot has still not cut.
And again, time being a character.
Mm-hmm. The shot still hasn't cut.
Mm-hmm.
Still going. Still going. And that, as they get onto the bridge, is the first, just, it's the filmmaking of this movie that sets it apart from the rest. If I'm Harry, I'm looking at her right there going, so you had the ability to go back in time and you used it to go to more school?
But that's very
I get it.
Hermione
I get
coded.
it.
Yeah.
That's why she was allowed to use it in the first place. I get it. But if I'm Harry, I'm like, she needs to get her priorities straight, Call back.
Honestly, I feel like I'd be more like Hermione because for the love of Pete, I'm going to magic school doing magic homework. Like,
yeah.
And in fairness, I've always said, I wish there were more hours in the day. She probably even had time to turn back the clock a little bit. The
question is, does she age relative to the number of hours that she's experienced?
I'm assuming I think they said that like she aged like 9 months. She's like 9 months older than she otherwise would be.
Really?
But because it's a lot of turning back 1 hour and not.
Well, how long is a school semester? A term for them? She basically did it twice.
Twice a day.
No, I'm saying she basically did the same term of school twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some hours where she was taking 3 subjects.
that's part of why in the fourth book they finally see her as so much more mature and beautiful because she's actually a year older than she otherwise would have been. They're like, whoa. And like, well, yeah, guys. New headcanon. The Scarecrow's really doing a good job as they all land on the Scarecrow.
This is the first in the sequence of events where Harry is witnessing
events, yes.
them interfere with themselves in the past.
I've always loved the design on that stone.
The little rock, yeah.
Because it's like that they didn't even have to do that. They could have just put a rock there, but they put that little intricate
And I like the implication that Dumbledore knew everything that's happening already.
Or he knew the possibility for it. He wanted it to be set up that way, but I guess the first go round that it always happened that way because it would always happen that way. Was he just aware that it was possible? Or, I don't know. And the fact that if you know anything about how pumpkins grow, they don't get just piled up like that.
Right,
So
yeah.
Hagrid's been tending to world-class pumpkins this whole time, and then he's like,
Well, I don't
He
know
used
what
it
to
in
do
Guardian
with
Charm.
them, so I'm gonna stack them up in a pile now. Feed them to my buckbeak.
Buckbeak eats meat, though, correct?
well, he's
I've
also
seen it
part.
ferrets.
He's also part horse. So
Yeah, that's
And
true.
and pumpkins look like a head,
It's true.
you know, at a certain angle.
oh yeah, I guess is he growing them for the purpose of decoration around? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he always grows giant pumpkins for them to decorate the Great Hall every year.
What's up, homie? How's it going? Long time no see. I'm gonna take a nap on this pumpkin again. These ravens, crows, they are just so like bratty.
Were they intentionally put there, or are these native, sort of like porgs on Skellig Michael Island in The Last Jedi? You know,
All right, we got to create porgs.
I mean, that's honestly why they were created, was
Oh,
because
yeah.
there was native creatures on Skellig Michael Island. They just couldn't
Whole
move.
bunch of
Are they
puffins,
puffins?
everywhere. Yeah.
Puffins. Yeah.
I'm. My favorite thing is when they're eating the porgs in front of the other porgs.
Yeah.
I would as someone who has frequently said that the hunter was the hero of Bambi, I would do that.
No, you're
Well,
terrible.
Did you hear Dumbledore in the house? They was like, "Oh, Dumbledore, we need your name too." He goes, "Oh dear, it's a very long name."
I think Gambin had style as Dumbledore.
He's just like, I'm vamping. Get a move on, please. All the strawberries. You know what?
Actually, his name is just Albus Dumbledore, and he created Wulfric Percival Bryan just for this moment, and then had to roll with it for the rest of his life.
We were all inside. I was sitting over there on the bench. Yeah. To quote John Mulaney.
Which is word for word from the book.
I mean, it's perfect, but that's why I say Gambin's. I will allow a lot of the nuance that he brings to it. Like, said Dumbledore calmly, we'll get there next year, but
That just became a meme.
I know.
I'm willing
I
to
like his
I'm willing
style.
to just say that he was worried. He was scared for Harry in that moment.
The small little burp of Buckbeep. Buckbeep, Buckbeep. Yeah, words are hard. And they're all sitting there going, oh, we're putting that in our back pocket for the next time we come up to this tree. Immobilis, got it. Of course. Well, Hermione is. Harry can't even remember how to repair his glasses. So
I don't even know if that.
And
I don't even know if that would have
literally
worked.
Reparo.
Immobilis?
Because you have to push a knot on the trunk of the tree to immobilize it.
Well, that's if you know how to be the tree charmer. Or you could just magic your way. Like, you could use the key to unlock a door, or you could Alohomora it, you know? Either or. Duh.
Oh, Batman's here.
Well, I mean, Commissioner Gordon is also here, so
And the Batman.
There's a theory that
and
Snape,
Arpats is in the next
in his infinite jealousy of the Marauders, became an animagus and became a bat.
Who did?
Snape.
Really?
Because he is very frequently referred to in the book as like a giant swooping bat.
Right, yeah.
Prowling the school.
Did you turn back time enough that my dad is still alive? No. Fine. I'm gonna be.
Then you get to Cursed Child, and we have Happy Voldemort Day.
Okay.
Because of time travel.
Quit spoiling things for me.
That book came out 9 years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm never gonna read it. So it's not even a book. It was a stage play.
Screenplay. Yeah.
They had a script, and I read it.
I read the screenplay and was whelmed.
I want to know what kind of moon appears so violently like that. Huzzah, the moon.
There's a moment with Snape in Cursed Child that kind of won me over to the story, but it's definitely different. By the way, Tate literally just texted me, is Cursed Child any good? I heard bad things about it.
What?
Just like an hour ago, he texted me this while we were...
So that's why it's top of mind. Okay.
Yes.
I read the screenplay and was whelmed. I saw it on stage and wept.
But also time travel,
this
chase time
music
turners are
is
heavily
so good.
involved.
Mm-hmm.
This part is wildly different from the book. I mean, there's a lot of parts that are wildly different. This was...
I will give Quran credit. He captures the spirit of the book very, very, very well. And the only things he ever changes is
in
just for
service
the
of
fact
telling
that
a better
it's cinematic format. I will say that when we get to 5, I like 5 the movie better than 5 the book.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't know how well you all can or cannot hear the audio, but the sound of the bugs in the forest, the crickets chirping in the da-da-da-da, that pattern, it just feels so organic and lived in. Like very small details like that, but they're noticed.
I'm getting real Jurassic Park vibes.
Mm-hmm.
5.
I mean, it's John Williams. The man has a style for different types of scenes.
Like, don't go into the long grass, Lost World vibes.
We were my parents asked to watch Prince of Egypt the other night because it came up, and I was like, "You've never seen it?" And so when Jeff Goldblum comes on as Aaron, yeah, I know they're looking at me right now like I'm crazy, or they're crazy, I suppose.
You were homeschooled, and your parents have never seen Prince of Egypt.
We were a Disney family, not a DreamWorks family. So, anyways, when Jeff Goldblum comes on, they just started quoting Jeff Goldblum lines, and I was so proud of my dad. Good work, Dad. If you ever listen to this, good work. That one night that he'll probably listen to this like 3 years from now.
Right? Yeah. We watched The Prince of Egypt.
We did. Oh, that was that one with Val Kilmer.
And I'm gonna shout out I'll shout out love to your boy Hans Zimmer. It's probably my favorite Hans Zimmer score.
I want to swap that score with the Dune 2 soundtrack. Just saying. It'd be perfect.
Haven't watched Dune or Dune 2 yet.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Also, why was the stag omitted?
Why was it omitted?
No.
The
Isn't
second
that
go
his-
around.
It is. You can see it start to poke its head out. You could see it for a few frames here and there.
Also, that is a blinding light. So if we're going for Harry's perspective here,
Yeah.
how much is he actually seeing besides, my eyes?
But I mean, the camera cutting to back across the lake. Visually, it's different. The second go around.
It doesn't. So there's a couple shots where you can see it, but also. Sorry, I'm just getting wrapped up in how pretty this movie is. Does that make sense? No. All right, cool. It's like Tenet. Like, don't try to explain it. Just feel it. Okay, cool.
It's probably the best
is
advice
one of the
to
best
watch
movies
that
ever.
movie. Just don't think about it. It's just vibes. Just
It would make sense that this is my favorite Harry Potter movie, and I like Tenet. You know,
They're both about time travel. Just don't look at it.
don't look at it too closely. Just enjoy it.
Tenet makes me feel like Chris Nolan worked at a movie rental store, and
Be
there was
kind,
a lot of
rewind.
people not kind and not rewinding.
I love it. The
Or they
second you
rewound
said
it and
movie
played it at the same time.
the second you said movie rental, I was like, I love where you're taking this.
He was just processing his like teenage pain working at the Blockbuster.
Gary Oldman, you're so good in this role.
J.K. Rowling, why did you kill him?
So, what's the Apple TV thing he's in? Slow Horses?
Yeah. It
I wanted to like it so much.
I did. I mean, I was like, I wanted to, but it just, Foundation. That's where it's at. And Silo. More Rebecca Ferguson goodness. Along with Dune and Dune 2.
You have blue eyes, and then we're going to reveal that your mom's eyes are brown. Yeah, part of the reason why Goblet is my favorite book is because Sirius is alive from the first page to the last page and is still Godfather the entire book.
Is there symbolism to the pears? They've been featured a couple times in this courtyard. I wonder if there's... They were sitting there on the little pass-through and...
Run.
Maybe it's Harry and Hermione, and then Ron and Hermione, and then Sirius and Buckbeak. They're all pears.
No, I meant the fruit. The fruit.
Still. They're pears.
They're
pairs of people
tying
in
the music to the chime of the clock. Oh.
Like this movie and Revenge of the Sith, I would say, was the end of John Williams' golden age.
Well, and that's not only the work of Williams, that's also a great sound design team that they had to match what key they wanted to put that in. Like, working together on that is...
We did it. Did what?
Good night.
But I will say, I don't think there's a Williams score past Revenge of the Sith that is just a banger. He's done some good work since Revenge of the Sith and Prisoner of Azkaban, but...
The way they're gaslighting Ron is just so cruel. What are you talking about, Ron? Chill out.
That poor bird.
I don't think it's the same one.
It's the same one. He managed to grow all of his feathers back just to get them stripped from him again.
And now Lupin's going to leave to be the god of war in World War I.
Oh, yeah, that is his role. He has a little divination ball in his...
I like that chest.
Him and his jazz. He's got good taste in music. big band jazz.
Yeah, the Wizarding World is this weird amalgamation of the 1920s and the 1930s with the 1700s.
Right as the music ends.
And then only to be taken by Barty Crouch Jr.
The pause between Crouch and Junior. But we'll get
the
there.
10th Doctor.
So you know them skulls for? You need maybe 5.
Too many skulls.
There was a display of skulls at Liberty in their, I think their biology department. And I always wondered, like, why?
The library also had the Ark of the Covenant, so, you know.
The real one.
Say?
Pretty
Who's
impressive.
to say? Indeed.
And Hobby Lobby also had a bunch of stolen Syrian artifacts, but you know, who's counting?
That's where they hid him, in plain sight in the library.
I'm glad they took this plot out of the movie. Of Ron and Hermione hating each other for her turning in the broom.
That's a big old feather. Did he tie the feather to the front of the...
I think it's a bow.
Cute.
That is...
What is?
Yeah, that's the feather.
That's the feather.
I love it.
I will say, though, weird ending. Weird shot to end on.
Nah, I love it. And
using the
I
map.
love, even through the credits, all the footsteps.
Yeah.
There is a very famous Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
I know William knows it. You will see 2 pairs of feet that are interestingly placed, a little too close for comfort.
I mean, I know
each
that
other.
one.
You knew that one?
There's a cameo.
Well,
in
let's
the
see
map.
if we can point them out to each other coming up. Also,
Yeah,
it's the
that's what
fact
she
that
was
John
talking
Williams'
about.
footsteps almost look like they were dancing.
We've got to give credit to Mina Lima for the production design throughout all of this. They were the design house responsible. Anything you see represented visually came from the Mina Lima design house.
Really? Okay, so the books, I didn't know any of this. So the books that you love and adore, that is. Wait a second, is that what it says on the side there in the little scribble?
No.
I don't know.
Dame Maggie Smith.
But they also did a lot of original work for the theme parks. The things that were never visualized in the movies. Like there's an advertisement for Sleek Easy's hair potion on side of the wall in Diagon Alley, which is Harry's family's business and the reason why he has a fortune.
Right. Right.
And it's also
I did not know this.
Yeah. And it's also it's a bit hilarious to me that everything that is like Gilderoy Lockhart's greatest ambition, Harry actually does.
Right, yeah.
My greatest ambition is to rid the world of evil and market my own line of hair care products.
Where is it referenced what Harry's family business was?
It was his great-grandfather, I think, developed a Sleek Easy's hair potion.
No,
That's why
he asked
has
where
a
is it
fortune.
referenced? Like where do we
it might have
learn
been
this?
like they extended stuff on Pottermore.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hang on, where is it?
There's a lot of like Kindle ebooks for a lot of those articles bundled up.
Mm-hmm. These are the best.
Amazon, I'm out of sync with you guys because when the credits started, Amazon tried to make me go to the next thing, and I
that's okay.
Well, we just passed post-production supervisor Jesse Teal. That's where we're at. An additional editor, Joseph
I am
C.
at
Bond
Jesse Teal now.
Oh,
you're
then
not.
you're
Yeah,
fine.
you're good.
Okay,
I'm like
hang on.
4 seconds behind. But I was wanting to play Hotel Transylvania of all things.
Is it in the cast?
Let's see.
Harry Melling.
Slytherin Boy is someone's name. And Girl One, like, all right. cool.
Wizard is Warwick Davis. He is officially cast as Wizard.
Yeah, just Wizard.
And then he just became Flitwick.
Jumping over the name right there. Boing.
These are the best credits of the entire series.
Like, I love how the feet are actually responding to the credits as if they are objects that they cannot
Right.
pass through. Like the feet that jumped over one, they're treating them like right there. Boing, boing, boing. It's great. There again.
Like
just,
all of this visually, the graphics were done by Mina Lima.
I didn't know that. I just thought they were some design house that was brought in for, a new set of books.
Right.
Now
It was
I
because
understand
of
why
their
you are
work.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they
And-
need to be part of my collection in the future.
Like, them getting the stink bomb store,
And then everyone scatters. Yeah.
well, they got the chance to, like, you've designed everything visually for this series. Now you get free license to design it how you want without the input of a director or.
That's so cool. That's the kind of like job that a design team just.
Which is why Scholastic
pays for.
they renewed them on a book by book basis, and they did not renew them to finish the series.
What?
Yeah, that
How
was
far
the
did they get
big
in?
3.
That's it.
Yeah, that was
Man.
the big stink all over Instagram, especially.
It's a good thing I'm not part of that. I would have been so, riled up.
But and then Scholastic, they released a statement like 2 or 3 hours later after Mina Lima announced that they won't be continuing the series, saying that, we are going to continue this illustrated interactive version with some new designers. I'm like, unless they just straight up rip off the cover design, are they going to look good on the shelf together?
So where's your Easter egg coming up? Because I haven't
I've
seen mine
been
yet.
looking for it.
One of the fabricators' name was Joe Glover, Donald's long-lost twin brother. Joe.
Oh, there goes the footprints or paw prints and chasing a bird. Oh, because it's the owlery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Vanessa Davis, Warwick Davis's twin sister.
It's so fun that we're even watching the credits because there's just that much good content here.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever watched this straight through.
I mean, but it's also an excuse to listen to the score.
Right, yeah.
Chaperones, Nigel Grint. Relation?
Probably one of the producers' last name was Radcliffe. Oh, yep, that's the there was your Easter egg there, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Those two were doing a little tango, little closely.
Standing a little close, facing each other there. I wonder, in a little alcove, no less. Private.
Wait, is it in the credits or was it
actually in the movie? Well, do you want to tell us what it is?
Is it in the credits? Okay.
Good old ILM. Oh, and then turn it into bare feet right there into paw prints. Love it. So I wonder if you wear high heels, does it show up as like the pad with a little tiny dot, or is it only like shoes, barefoot, paw print? You know, is that?
Oh, okay. Kristen's doing some research, and she thinks that it's in the scene where Fred and George give Harry the map.
What is it that we're looking for?
In that moment, Newt Scamander was in Dumbledore's office.
Really?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Okay. Well, I don't think any of them have names on here, so probably. Now I want to kind of go back and look. And I love that they just created this song for the movie. Like, it feels like it should have existed in the Potterverse forever.
I mean, it's a playoff of the
yeah,
the Quidditch theme.
Well, it's a play on the classic, like
Shakespeare.
Yeah. Hamlet? Is it Hamlet?
Well, yeah,
I think it's
double,
Macbeth.
double, toil and
Macbeth.
That's Macbeth. Yeah, the Three Witches of Macbeth.
God, yeah. Shame on me.
that's
Shame on
Uncultured
me.
swine. It's not very
How dare you?
Yeah.
demure.
You're not allowed to
someone
talk
who-
about the Scottish play. Guys, stop it.
Unfortunately,
the Grindylow Lagoon.
the seniors are doing Macbeth this year. I'm very upset about that.
Ooh. Lorraine
Since I
and
teach
Simon.
sophomores.
Congrats. They work together. I wonder, and I haven't actually looked this far in. A lot of times movies now have started showing the production babies that were born. I wonder, I haven't looked this far, but now I'm curious. That's always something I've
One thing I
started
really
watching
enjoyed about in the credits of Deadpool and Wolverine was that they showed all the
No, I haven't
videos.
watched yet. Haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I don't
Oh,
think
those are
Well,
little
it's
tiny
something-
feet.
I don't think Dallas.
It's in the credits.
Dallas, you haven't seen it either, have you?
I haven't.
Oh. The whole movie itself was like a love letter to the Fox, X-Men, Fantastic Four, like that. The whole era of Marvel before the MCU.
Fuji
MCU.
film. That's my camera.
Kodak.
That's not what they actually shot it on for real.
Do you like that all of those logos have a bit of a transfer tone look to them too?
Uh-huh.
Like the ink bleed. 20 years ago.
Yep. I was 12. I was in middle school. So part of the reason I did not like the transition was because Harry was in middle school and I was in middle school.
PA Productions. What does that mean?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, duh, Alex, you dummy.
Every movie, in a sense, is a new business that's being created.
Yeah. I was like, POFA. What is a POFA? It's like a sofa, but and the music is still going.
I know. There we go. Those are Warner Brothers. This is if we were watching a Marvel movie. This was when we would get Georged.
Yep.
Is this when we get Georged?
Yeah.
Whoa. Are you all getting like another featurette that just popped up right now? The Creatures of Harry Potter?
No, no, I'm getting here's everyone who dubbed it in all these different languages. Guys, that was a ride. Alex,
and now Hotel Transylvania 3 is playing. I don't understand.
Alex, I'm glad that you were able to join us for it because I know it was your favorite movie in the Harry Potter series. But
it's my favorite movie of all time.
We of all time. I knew it. Deep down. I knew it. But I'm going to settle up the tab. And if you have made it with us this far, congratulations. Thank you. And many thanks. We really enjoy putting these out. I enjoy doing the commentaries because I get to sit and watch movies with my best friends. And
I feel like
welcome back to Hogwarts.
It's almost gone away from commentary and more like, hey, that thing on that screen reminded me of something else we're going to talk about.
Yeah, right.
Which is almost like
those are the best commentaries.
Commentaries with like Wes Anderson. There's a famous, I think it's in Bottle Rocket, where he answers a phone call in the middle of the commentary.
That's amazing.
So I feel like that should be us next.
That should be us.
There is a Muppets, I think it's Muppets in Space. There's a commentary where the Muppets do the commentary in character.
But of course they do.
And so it's like a whole new movie.
In Tropic Thunder, so Robert Downey Jr.'s character, he says that he doesn't break character until commentary is released, and Robert Downey Jr. does the entire commentary for Tropic Thunder in character. I'm just a dude playing a dude, disguised as another dude.
Well, happy Back to Hogwarts Day to all those who celebrate. But if you like what you've heard here today and you want to toss a coin to your Witcher, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Grapefruit Network. If you'd like to go and help us support the show, we release all of our episodes early, ad-free, and extended, which I don't know how this one's going to be extended because it's already going to be pushing like 2.5 hours, but I do hope that you've enjoyed it. But with that, if you like the show and you want to find out more about the shows in our network, for this show, it's doctorandlawyer.show. And to learn more about the network, it's thegrapefruitnetwork.com. I think that was all. Let me look through my teleprompter. Got it.
Do you have a teleprompter running right now?
No, I don't have a teleprompter. Are you kidding?
No. Ever since we got bought out by CNN, NBC, FX, Fox.com, our budget has gone through the roof.
But with that, guys, I'm going to head out of here. I'm William.
I'm Dallas.
I'm Cody.
And I am the Harry Potter film snob.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Hello there.
Are you kidding? I'm working.
All right, I'll be right there.
And grab the movie. Go, 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 go.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
Made one, snapped in two, which was say.